In my last video, we saw the most horrible, hellish, cancer-inducing.
Dear God Builderman, please, take my soul. I cannot keep playing this f***ing simulators any longer, because the more I play, the more I realize God hates us.
Quests that this Roblox event forced us to play. And truth is, despite the overall quest being mediocre, there were actually a few quests in here that, for a brief moment, reminded me that I was playing a Roblox event, and not get shoved propaganda in your face simulator. Before starting, let's quickly remember what makes a quest good in my opinion. The hunt is an opportunity for developers to show new players their game. Therefore, it's important that a quest is related to the game it belongs to. So yeah, you won't see any collect 30 eggs around an empty map quest.
Hey! No! Stop!
Also, a quest must be balanced. A quest shouldn't be too easy or too frustrating. Always having a balanced difficulty that correctly matches the games. I don't mind when a quest is a little difficult, since I do enjoy challenges, but as we saw in the worst quests ranking, some games make the quest extremely long, or too hard, to make players spend as much money and time as possible.
Rainbow mode activated.
And finally, and most important, a quest must be both fun and grant a feeling of completion when finished. Also, please, remember that this ranking is just my dumb opinion. This is basically a ranking of the 10 best experiences I had while doing a quest in the hunt, and of course, most likely will be very different than yours, and I invite you to post your own ranking in the comment section. Just please, do not threaten to end anyone's life. And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's witness the happy side of this questionable Roblox event. Let's witness Top 10 Best Roblox, The Hunt, Quests.
What's he gonna do? Oh!
He's pulling his out!
I don't know, wait. Oh, Bunko!
A little story time. When I was doing the hunt, my primary goal was to finish as soon as possible all the crappy simulators and soul-sucking tycoons.
Wait, what?
Millions of players are doing the stupidest shit on Roblox.
So my first day in the hunt was actually pretty miserable, since I spent the whole day experiencing shitty game after shitty game. The worst of the worst the hunt had to offer, and I swear to God, it took me way longer than I thought, because the amount of stupid grindy cash grabs that were in the hunt increased highly my desires for this to be the only hunt ever done by Roblox. But something weird happened. Because while I was in the middle of that awful strike of games, one of those simulators surprised me greatly. In a way, I never expected any simulator to do so. Because when I played Strongman Simulator, what I expected to find was a quest that required me to grind in a game whose only gameplay revolves around clicking, just like, you know, the other 20 crappy simulators Roblox allowed to be in the hunt. But instead, and for my surprise, what I actually found was a very fun and interesting puzzle that used perfectly the pull mechanic this game has. From all the games in this ranking, there are at least two I know I will get many people complaining about. And this is one of them. But please, allow me to explain why this game made it into the ranking. Imagine having experienced 4 hours of cash grab clicking games, only to find out that one of them actually has a fun quest. I may be giving this quest too much credit, but please, just imagine how easy it would have been to just take the easy way out this games usually take, and just put a heavy egg that you would have to move with hours of grinding in order to get the quest. But the fact that the developers of this game actually put the effort into doing something original, using the mechanics this game has, well, that's a W in my book. Because this is the only simulator in the entire hunt whose badge I actually enjoyed. To all simulators out there, please, be like Strongman Simulator, make an actual quest.
It's the war. War never changes.
In the number 10 spot we saw what I consider to be the best simulator in the entire hunt. So of course, it would only be appropriate that now we saw what is in my opinion, the best tycoon in the entire hunt. And while I may have overrated Strongman Simulator, due to how greatly its quest impressed me, the same does not happen with the game in this spot of the ranking. Because guys, I seriously cannot believe I enjoyed f***ing War Tycoon as much as I did. The quest is simple, you must find 10 boxes scattered around a city map. If that was all the quest is about, it wouldn't have entered the ranking. But there's a catch that makes this game very enjoyable. The city where the boxes are located is also a very active battleground where players from 4 different teams battle each other for the control of the city. Many of the boxes are located near the town hall, the center of the city, so if you want to collect them, chances are you'll have to infiltrate and eliminate many enemies and opponents, using the resources you gathered in your own military base. Sure, it's a tycoon, so it's kinda a pay to win, and there's always the weird kid who spends more time playing the game than with their family. But aside those flaws almost every tycoon have, I have to admit it, I really enjoyed my time here.
I can't imagine Gothel attending all these
When I went to do Blade Ball's Hunt Quest, my expectations were high, since this is one of the games I expected to have a neat, well-developed, and enjoyable quest. My expectations, of course, crashed and burnt. Since all this game did was giving some stupid quests to do. When I played the game, these quests were extremely easy. In fact, they were so easy that the developers remade them, this time making sure players would stay for a while inside their game. And I'll be completely honest, the only reason of why Blade Ball didn't made it into my lat video is because I was lucky enough to do these quests when they were easy. And yet, I suffered way more than I expected, since this game has tons of players who have what I like to call the final boss syndrome. The final boss syndrome is when a player basically doesn't move at all during the entire round. Thing is, these types of players will usually stand still in dangerous places, like the center of the field, or near another players. But why? Simple, to brag, these wannabe final bosses believe tremendously that they are the best players in game, that will basically attempt to assert their dominance by acting stupid, basically doing a
"Oh look, I am not moving in this dangerous place, and yet you guys are not killing me. That's because I'm so skilled and pro. Just imagine what will happen to you, noobtards, once I start moving."
And the real problem with this players comes when you actually manage to damage them, because they will start to try hard as much as they can, spamming their pay to win abilities or going near you, with the only intention to kill you for damaging them once, even if they were literally standing in the middle of the combat area. And chances are, once they finally kill you, they will make fun of you, either by dancing on your body, or simply saying something toxic in chat. So yeah, despite being short, my experience in Blade Ball was surprisingly terrible. So when I decided to do Death Ball's Hunt Quest, I expected more of the same. But in this case, Death Ball ended up being everything I expected Blade Ball to be. A fun, epic, and somewhat challenging quest that reminded me how much I liked this game. In order to complete the quest, you must defeat a boss, which may not seem as much, but trust me, it gets tricky by the end. Since the rest of the players are your partners, you won't have issues with toxic players. And even if the experience was a little shorter than what I would have preferred, I have to admit I loved every second I spent on this badge, and left the game very satisfied. Without a doubt, the better hunt quest related with hitting a ball. The game in this spot of the ranking has one of those quests that everyone claims is easily one of the 3 best ones in the entire hunt. And listen, I really enjoyed this quest.
Okay.
And maybe it's because I'm not that much into the SCP lore, but even if I didn't like it as much as everyone else, I still really enjoyed the hunt quest on SCP Roleplay. This quest basically has you entering a mirror row, shooting multiple aggressive strange gray humanoid creatures, walking through a desert with giant statues, and finally shooting even more gray statues. Yeah, a bit weird. But knowing how the SCP lore actually goes, this is just a normal Monday for an average SCP fanatic. I really love when a game manages to surprise me like this, put me in very creative situations that no other game could have put me into, since that makes the quests extremely memorable. Just like with Death Ball's quest, I wished it had been a little bit longer, but aside that, a quest that really made me want to investigate a little more about this quite unique community.
My name is Skylar White, yo. My husband is Walter White, yo.
The game in this place of the list is kinda special. By this I mean that this is the only quest in this ranking that I didn't actually enjoy obtaining that much. but the reason of why I ended up putting it in the ranking is because it's undeniable the amount of effort the developers have put into it, because God, if every game had put half the effort the developers of RB Battles put into their quest, then maybe the hunt wouldn't be seen as a mediocre event. This guy's not only crafted an entire unique mission, but also added 3D animations from unique models, which include mouth animations by the way, and also wrote a f***ing entire rap only for this quest alone. Like man, you can feel how much the developers actually cared. But of course, as I mentioned, I didn't enjoy the quest itself that much, mainly because I suck so bad at rhythm games. There's only one rhythm game I like, and sadly this was not it. But still, an amazing quest that deserves all the love is getting.
How's it going, guys? Nostalgia here.
As you may remember, I mentioned previously how in my opinion, is extremely important that a hunt quest is related to the main game, since it's an opportunity to introduce new players to it. Well, there's actually an exception to that rule, and this exception comes when the game has basically no gameplay at all. An example would be Pull Out a Sword Simulator, because I would have preferred doing anything else for the hunt quest but playing the game.
Leave me alone!
And same is the case with Catalog Avatar Creator. Okay, so, this game is basically a place where you get to wear for free all the accessories you can find in the Roblox marketplace, so of course, this is basically nearer of being a closet than a game. And so, when I heard this game was in the hunt, I was kinda surprised, since I was wondering what the hell would we supposed to do to get the badge in a game like this? And the answer to my question, luckily, didn't disappoint at all. The developers of this game knew full well that a hunt quest based on their game would end up with the players collecting 30 eggs around an empty plane.
Oh no!
But instead of wanting to finish things fast, this guys actually went the extra mile to deliver an amazing hunt quest that took everyone by surprise. They basically made a brick battle experience inspired in the classic medieval warfare, in which, in order to get the badge, your team must have the most amount of kills. It's simple, it's fun, it's all I could ask for a hunt badge and more. This is one of those games in which, even after getting the badge, I stayed playing for a while. It was just that fun.
I'm Cristiano Ronaldo!
Man, I owe Piggy an apology. When this game became so popular in 2020, I remember thinking it had to be another childish horror game with cheap jump scares. I had never played this game or knew anything about it, and so, when I entered to do its hunt quest, I supposed I wasn't going to like it that much. Well, turns out I was wrong, because the hunt quest of this game is peak, being one of the hardest ones by far. This quest will have you resolving puzzles in an area where two different enemies will move around it. Therefore your mission is to solve the puzzles by collecting items and looking for numbers, while also evading these creatures. To be fair, the only reason I could do this on my first try was because I had the most competent teammates ever, who despite my uselessness, managed to complete the puzzle. Easily one of the greatest quests in the hunt, to the point that, not only I liked the quest, but also, it proved me that maybe, Piggy is not the unfunny childish horror game I thought it was.
Oh my gosh, this is too hard! I can't go on! I'm like gonna die! Mommy!
Remember how at the beginning of the video, I said there were two games that I would get many people complaining about? Well, this is the second one. Because the Steep Steps quest and the game itself are tragically underrated due to its challenging nature. Many will say that I only put Steep Steps this high because it's a game I have done many videos about. And truth is, that statement couldn't be more wrong. Because ironically, the only reason of why this quest didn't made it any higher is because it wasn't that difficult for me, and therefore, I didn't get as much satisfaction completing it as I would have if it had been my first time playing. I won't spend much time explaining why this quest works, since it's obvious why it does. This quest serves as a perfect introduction to the game. Because despite being the easiest quest in game, it still requires effort to obtain. Nothing here is sugar-coated. But still, it never gets unfair. You know exactly what you're gonna find, and the game never pulls out an impossible maneuver at any point of the section. The items you need to find are barely hidden. Even some of them are directly in the path you are forced to follow, meaning it won't take you much time to find them once you have completed the section. The entire section was rebuilt for the quest alone, reducing its difficulty for the sake of the hunt. And also, redecorated solely for it too. Next to the insane animations created for one cutscene, you can even choose to skip. Really shows that, yeah, the people behind this quest did cared. But then, if this quest was so good, why is there so much hate behind it? Well, this is what I really wanted to talk about. I have seen people claim that this is the worst quest in the hunt. And my question is, have these people played Pet Simulator? Or Pull Out a Sword? How come they can consider Steep Steps to be the worst quest? The answer is simpler than we think. Basically, the same people who say this is the worst badge in the entire hunt are the same ones who say that Snowboard Obby or Legends of Speed have the best hunt quests. They don't really give a fuck about trying new games, about having fun in a cool quest. They are close-minded about that, and anything that requires more than 10 minutes to be done will be considered a bad hunt quest for them. Because they are not here for that. They are mad this quest won't chew the food for them. They are mad they actually have to try and, for God's sake, play the game. But they don't want to play the game, they don't want to try new things, they want the token, and they want it fast. Because the sooner they have it, the sooner they can put a pixelated crown on their avatar, and go back to play Twilight Daycare. Truth is, someone who doesn't want to play a game because they refuse to actually put effort in it, shouldn't really claim what quests are better or worse. And hey, I could understand this complaint if the game was a Tycoon, or something like the SpongeBob Simulator or Pet Sim, where the gameplay is basically a ripoff from other games, and there's no challenge whatsoever. But Steep Steps has a unique gameplay that no other hunt quest has. It doesn't require time if you are careful enough, is rewarding as hell, is fair yet challenging, is not too easy or too hard, is everything I could ask in a hunt quest, and more. And Steep Steps as a whole is a certified underrated Roblox masterpiece. Arsenal's quest is, how to say it, unsurprisingly awesome. If there's one game everyone expected to have an amazing quest, was this one, and of course, the expected happened, since Arsenal deliver us one of the greatest quests in the entire hunt by far. The quest basically requires us to complete a mission, infiltrate a facility full of very weaponized soldiers, and tamper with the servers located inside. Of course, during our way in and out, we'll have to deal with a great amount of soldiers, and even a fucking chopper at some point. The quest itself is quite challenging, since the soldiers will shoot you the moment a pixel of your avatar shows up on their visual field, so going all nuts with your gun won't get you very far. One of my favorite aspects of this quest is how you are allowed to choose how to play it. You can be quiet and eliminate soldiers slowly, or you can try luck and go berserk. The quest includes a tons of different weapons you'll get to use. It's also probably the only quest in the entire hunt which introduces hunt lore properly. And finally, puts the gameplay of the game amazingly into the mission, basically being a 100% Arsenal experience. Honestly, I'm running out of words, since everyone already knows why this quest is a 10 out of 10. But if it's that great, why is not number 1? Well, there's actually one thing the game of the number 1 spot does, that puts it higher than any other quest in the hunt. But before going to the number 1 spot, let's view a few honorable mentions. I know everyone can already tell which game is in the number 1 spot, so I won't try to hide it. It's not a surprise that a game like Doors has a hunt quest this good. Seriously, even before the hunt started, I could already tell that Arsenal or Doors were gonna have the best quests. And of course, what everyone expected to happen, happened. Since Doors has already proven time and time again that their updates never disappoint, from both April Fool's updates to the rooms, this game somehow keeps getting better and better, to the point that is not a surprise to call this single best game in the entire Roblox platform. And of course, their hunt update, just like the rest of their updates, didn't disappoint at all. But while Arsenal did what I expected them to do, deliver a 10 out of 10 quest, Doors on the other hand went the extra mile and actually somehow managed to surprise me, despite my expectations being already perfection itself. Because the Doors quest not only is a 100% Doors experience, but also changes the gameplay completely without losing the Doors essence. Now, you need to go through 50 doors, facing brand new entities, all while you have a time of barely a minute, which can be increased a little by pulling levers that sometimes appear in certain rooms. The change of gameplay, going from a slow, intimidating pace to a very fast and stressful one, gave me an entire new side of the game, to the point that, despite having played Doors many times, this quest made me feel just like I did the first time I played. And that's the thing. Only this quest in the entire hunt managed to do. Doors is a game I really would like to talk about in the future. Maybe with an iceberg or a guide. But I just need to talk about this magnum opus of Roblox. Unique gameplay, peak soundtrack, amazing updates, actually scary. Oh my god, this is more than a Roblox game, this is an actual amazing game that happens to be made on Roblox. And which could teach a few things to many, quote unquote, real scary games. I will be a Doors fanatic until the day I die, because nothing will ever top this masterful piece of brilliance that happens to be stuck inside of Roblox. David Baszucki should kneel before Elsplash for having made Doors using Roblox. Yup, I really mean it. And with that, the video is over. I really had fun making this short series of videos about the hunt, where we laughed and cried, but mostly cried, with this curious event that had the task of bringing the community together. On my part, you can expect me to continue this series in case there's another hunt. So, with everything said, thanks for watching, and good night.